Imagine rendering a complex three-dimensional animated video. Like 5 years ago, if you wanted to do that, it
Yeah.
took a team of highly trained professionals the better part of a month.
Oh, easily. A month at least.
Right. But today,
Yeah.
you can literally execute that entire process while you're waiting for your morning coffee to brew.
It is a complete inversion, of how we think about production time versus creative output. I mean, the barrier to entry hasn't just been lowered, it's been entirely eradicated.
It really has. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are, as always, thrilled to have you with us. Today, we are looking at a stack of sources specifically, a really comprehensive article exploring the latest wave of AI video tools.
And it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, and more importantly, we're looking at how these tools are making content utterly impossible to ignore in an incredibly fast-paced digital landscape. Because if you are a marketer, a creator, or really anyone trying to communicate a complex idea to a specific audience, you already know you are in a relentless battle for attention.
Yeah, attention is the ultimate currency right now.
Exactly. We all know the demand for visual content is skyrocketing. We know the old rules. But what our sources make crystal clear today is that the mechanics of how we meet that demand have fundamentally changed. AI is no longer just like a novelty or a fun little plugin.
Right, it's not just a filter anymore.
No, it is a transformative force that is basically rewriting the physics of digital storytelling. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission for this deep dive is to figure out exactly how these AI tools can elevate your storytelling, the specific mechanisms they use to boost engagement, and ultimately how they serve as the ultimate differentiator in a market that is, frankly, completely saturated.
And to really grasp the mechanics of this, we need to bypass the obvious stuff first. I mean, we all know visuals are engaging, right?
Sure.
But we need to look at how search engine algorithms actually interpret that engagement. The sources point out that high-quality visuals, especially dynamic video, they don't just break up the monotony of text.
Right. Nobody likes a wall of text.
Exactly. But it goes deeper. They are functioning as an active mechanism for comprehension and retention. They're physically guiding the viewer's cognitive journey through the information.
Right. Think of text-heavy content, like handing someone a dense, heavily coded map.
Yeah.
You're giving them all the information, but you're just saying, good luck figuring out the topography on your own.
Which most people won't even bother doing.
Exactly. But incorporating dynamic video, however, is like giving them a personalized guided tour.
Oh.
You're physically walking them through the landscape, pointing out exactly what they need to see, exactly when they need to see it.
That is exactly what is happening on a cognitive level. And search engines have evolved to measure that exact guided tour effect. The algorithm doesn't actually watch your video. It watches the viewer watching your video.
Wait, make that make sense for me. How does the AI actually measure that interaction? What is the specific mechanism there?
It comes down to analyzing microbehaviors. When you incorporate video into a content strategy, the AI algorithms deployed by search engines measure metrics like average session duration and bounce rates.
Okay, the standard SEO stuff.
Right, but it's not just about whether they stayed on the page. The algorithm is looking at how the video alters the viewer's momentum. If a video is integrated well, the viewer stops scrolling, their mouse movement slows, they might even rewind a specific segment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that reduces the bounce rate because the video is actively holding their focus. Search engines see that prolonged active session duration as a massive indicator of relevance and quality.
And the sources specifically call out platforms like YouTube here, which obviously is the second largest search engine in the world. But what AI is doing right now is fundamentally altering how search intent is matched with video metadata, right?
Precisely. It's no longer just about, writing a clever title. AI tools are now capable of strategically optimizing your video by auto-generating highly descriptive tags, frame-by-frame metadata, and hyper-accurate transcriptions that align perfectly with what the search algorithm wants to see.
So it's feeding the machine exactly what it wants.
Yes, and when creators take those AI-optimized videos and embed them on their blogs or landing pages, they are building a rich, interactive ecosystem. They are feeding the search engine exactly the structure data it craves, which establishes brand authority in a way that plain text simply cannot compete with.
Wait, I have to push back on this premise for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
If literally everyone listening to this learns how to do that, if everyone uses AI to auto-generate perfect SEO metadata and flawlessly optimize video to lower their bounce rates, doesn't the digital marketplace just get saturated all over again?
It's a fair point.
Right, because if making a technically perfect, beautiful video takes 10 minutes, then the aesthetic quality stops being the differentiator. So how stand out in that massive sea of new, hyper-optimized video content?
That is the multi-million-dollar question. If everyone has a magic camera, how do you stand out? The answer the sources provide isn't about making one perfect video. It comes down to differentiation through unprecedented efficiency and the sheer volume of high-quality experimentation that AI allows.
So humans just can't keep up.
Exactly. Humans alone simply cannot match the output required to find the perfect narrative fit.
So you were saying it's just a numbers game? We just use AI to flood the zone with
No,
content?
no, not at all. It's about smart output. Efficiency in content creation isn't about spamming the internet. It's about removing the logistical bottlenecks so you can test ideas faster. AI acts as the ultimate co-creator by automating the mind-numbing, repetitive tasks that usually drain a team's creative energy.
Give me an example of that. What kind of workflow is actually being streamlined here?
Think about the systematic processes of running a content team. AI is managing complex content calendars, dynamically adjusting publishing schedules based on when your specific audience is actually online.
So no more guessing when to post.
Right. It's utilizing pre-built intelligent templates and powering collaborative platforms that foster seamless communication. It basically handles the busy work so that human creators can focus purely on what algorithms cannot do, generating truly innovative, original ideas and crafting compelling narratives.
And it simplifies the actual edit, too, which used to be a massive bottleneck. I mean, the days of needing a specialized degree in nonlinear editing software just to cut two clips together seamlessly,
Yeah,
those are completely over.
completely. Today's AI editing software has replaced the timeline with incredibly intuitive, user-friendly interfaces. Creators of any technical skill level can navigate these tools using semantic drag-and-drop functionality.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You aren't just cutting a clip. You are telling the AI, remove all the dead air, and it does it instantly. You have intelligent preset templates and guided tutorials built right into the software that adapt to your specific project.
Let's talk about animation for a second, because the sources really highlight this. And animation used to be one of the most resource-intensive, punishing forms of video to create.
Oh, it was incredibly tedious. But advanced AI animation tools are changing the fundamental physics of that process. They offer features like intelligent motion presets and customizable character rigs.
Okay, stop there. Break down character rigs for the listener who might not be an animator. How does AI change that specifically?
Yeah, good point. So, a character rig is essentially the digital skeleton of an animated character. Historically, if you wanted a character to walk, an animator had to manually build that skeleton and then move it joint by joint, frame by frame, constantly calculating weight and gravity.
Yeah.
It took days. Now, AI understands physics and intent. You don't move the joints manually. You simply apply a semantic command from a robust asset library. Like you literally just type, make the character walk confidently, and the AI automatically calculates the weight distribution, the pacing, and the seamless transitions of the joints.
That is wild.
Yeah, and you can manipulate timing and color schemes on the fly without facing any steep learning curve.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because these user-friendly interfaces, they don't just save you a few hours of rendering time. They actively remove the psychological fear of making irreversible mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. That is a critical shift in the creative mindset.
Think about it. When editing is a nightmare, when a single animation tweak takes 4 hours to render, you play it safe.
Yeah,
You stick to the storyboard. You don't take risks.
because a mistake costs you a whole day.
Exactly. But when the interface is semantic and frictionless, it actively encourages experimentation. You can try a wild avant-garde idea, and if it doesn't work, you just hit undo and you haven't lost a week of your life.
Yeah, you just pivot.
Plus, the sources point out this fosters a new kind of collaboration, allowing peers to share projects in the cloud and give real-time, iterative feedback.
And having that psychological freedom to experiment is crucial. Because producing a beautiful, highly efficient video is really only half the battle.
Right. You can render a flawless animation in 10 seconds, but that video is completely useless if it is speaking to the wrong person. Which brings us to the next massive shift. How do we ensure the content actually lands?
This is where we transition from creation to hyper-targeting. You have to tailor the message. It is an absolute necessity to personalize your video content for your target audiences. And I don't mean broadly guessing what millennials might like.
Right, not just demographics.
No, I mean deeply understanding specific preferences and highly localized behaviors.
The old broadcast model of making one flagship video and blasting it to your entire email list, that's dead.
It is obsolete. You have to visual aesthetics for different audience segments so it perfectly aligns with their unique characteristics.
And the sources detail something here that I think is going to blow people's minds regarding what AI can actually do in this space. We aren't just talking about serving video A to group A and video B to group B.
Yeah.
AI can actually incorporate granular personalized elements into the actual rendered video itself.
Yes. For you listening right now, imagine clicking on a marketing video and the on-screen graphics or even the AI-generated voiceover actually addresses you by your first name.
Which is slightly terrifying but amazing.
Or it directly references the specific item you left in your shopping cart 3 days ago.
Wait, mechanically, how is that even possible without crashing a server?
Yeah.
You can't pre-render a million different videos for a million different customers.
You don't pre-render it. The AI utilizes server-side dynamic insertion.
Okay.
It holds the core video as a template, and then, based on the specific cookie data or user profile accessing the link, it renders the customized text or audio layer on the fly in milliseconds, right as the video buffers.
That is unbelievable.
And the data from our sources shows that this level of extreme personalization drastically improves viewer retention and significantly boosts conversion rates.
Well, yeah, because the content instantly signals that it is highly valuable and specifically relevant to them.
What's fascinating here is how the recommendation algorithms are evolving alongside this personalization. AI algorithms are analyzing massive data sets of user behavior and engagement patterns. It is acting like a hyper-observant digital sommelier.
Ah, I like that.
It doesn't just look at the fact that you bought a specific bottle of wine last week. It measures the exact micro-expressions, how long you hovered over a thumbnail, where you paused the video, what specific second you skipped ahead. From that implicit data, it delivers incredibly tailored content recommendations.
And the AI continuously learns from those interactions, right? Is fine-tuning its understanding to identify emerging demographic trends in real time.
Exactly. It is a constantly evolving feedback loop.
Okay, hold on. I am throwing a massive red flag on the play here.
Let's hear it.
If AI algorithms are constantly tailoring content, dynamic video elements, and recommendations based entirely on our exact historical data and micro-behaviors, aren't we just building the most highly engaging echo chambers in human history? Like, if the AI perfectly predicts what you want and only feeds you variations of what you already like, how do creators ever reach new audiences? How do you introduce a disruptive idea if the algorithm filters it out for not matching historical preferences?
You've just identified the central philosophical tension of the algorithmic age. It is a massive challenge. And the source material addresses this exact trap by emphasizing that you cannot rely on a single algorithmic feed.
Okay.
Growth, and specifically breaking out of those echo chambers, requires building a broader ecosystem through multi-platform optimization and fostering an active community.
All right, let's break down the mechanics of that. Multi-platform optimization.
You have to understand platform nuances because the algorithms on different platforms optimize for different human behaviors. The sources highlight the stark contrast here. If you are targeting an audience on TikTok or Instagram, the native language of that platform dictates short, highly attention-grabbing videos.
Right, the infinite scroll.
Exactly. But if you are on YouTube, the algorithm rewards longer, more in-depth exploratory content. AI tools allow you to take one master narrative and dynamically recut it, repaste it, and reformat it to speak the native language of each specific platform.
So you are casting a wider net to capture different audience segments. But that still relies on algorithms. How do you actually break the echo chamber?
By turning passive viewers into an active community, you have to get human beings talking to each other, rather than just passively consuming the personalized feed that AI serves them.
And AI tools are facilitating that interaction directly within the video player now.
Yes, through integrated interactive features. We are talking about embedding real-time polls, live Q&A sessions, and interactive live streams directly into the content ecosystem.
So they aren't just watching, they're participating.
Right. When viewers actually click a poll or ask a question, they transition from passive data points to engaged community members. They are providing explicit feedback, which is much more valuable than the implicit data of just watching a screen.
The sources also dig into gamification here, which I think is a brilliant psychological lever to pull.
Yeah.
It's about incorporating rewards or community challenges directly into the viewing experience.
It entirely shifts the incentive structure. When audiences feel they have a real stake in the content, maybe they are competing in a brand challenge or earning digital recognition, they become active advocates.
They do the marketing for you.
Exactly. They start generating and sharing user-generated content organically across their own private networks, in group chats, and on dark social. That is how you puncture the algorithmic bubble, human beings explicitly sharing with other human beings.
And then, crucially, all of that interaction, the poll answers, the share rates, the live Q&A sentiment, feeds right back into the system, creating what the sources call the analytics loop.
Right. Creators are no longer waiting a month to review a campaign's performance. By utilizing detailed analytics, view duration, engagement rates, and that direct audience feedback, creators use AI to refine their strategies in real time.
Instant course correction.
Yes. If a live stream shows audience drop-off at a specific topic, the AI highlights that, and the creator instantly pivots.
That's incredibly powerful.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this continuous, data-driven, iterative process isn't just a neat trick for getting more views. It is about organizational survival. Businesses that embrace this level of real-time insight and continuous improvement are the ones that can stay ahead of rapid market shifts. It is how you establish a sustainable competitive edge when the landscape changes every Tuesday.
So what does this all mean? If you are listening to this right now trying to figure out your next move, it means that AI video tools are definitively no longer a luxury reserved for massive tech conglomerates.
Not at all.
They're an absolute necessity for anyone communicating online. They automate the punishing busy work so you can actually focus on creative vision. They mechanically boost your SEO by keeping viewers engaged longer and generating perfect metadata.
Mm-hmm.
They personalize the viewing experience at an unprecedented scale, literally rendering customized content on the fly. And they provide the interactive frameworks required to build loyal organic communities that transcend the algorithm. Simply put, they give you the power to make your content impossible to ignore.
Because they allow you to transform standard static content into a compelling, highly targeted narrative that actually inspires action.
It's genuinely incredible how fast this is moving. But as we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over something that takes the specific capabilities we discussed today and pushes them to their logical extreme.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, the source material notes that AI is currently learning to perfectly tailor recommendations. It can dynamically adapt the pacing of a video based on your micro-behaviors, and it can even render a video that addresses you by your first name in real time.
The level of real-time synthesis is truly staggering.
Right. So if an AI is capable of perfectly synthesizing exactly what captures your attention, and it can dynamically generate the exact visual style, narrative pacing, and personalized elements you prefer, all in real time, as you watch.
Wow, yeah.
At what point does the software stop being the creator's assistant and start becoming the ultimate autonomous storyteller? If the AI knows what you want to see better than the human who wrote the prompt, who is actually making the video.
That is the frontier we are rapidly and inevitably approaching.
It really is. Like we said at the start, the old rules of shouting the loudest are gone. We are stepping into a completely new paradigm of communication. Thank you so much for joining us on today's deep dive. We hope it gave you a clearer understanding of the mechanisms driving this shift and some powerful new insights for your own digital strategies. Until next time, stay curious.